Hey. Yes, we're here with the real news. The real news that you're not necessarily going to find anywhere else. It's possible. Probably not all in the same place, though. And probably with like way better technical production skills. Damn. So, hey, YouTube. Sorry my camera doesn't work. I have like technology. I have technology. It is amazing that I can stream and you can see me and hear me. So anyway, I have news today. I have news about Balenciaga. I put out a video. You guys might have seen it about Balenciaga and their latest ad campaign. That's what the title has to do with. It says they're all perverts. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. So I'll show you that story. I have news about Twitter. You know, Twitter is big news. A lot of things happen there. Wonder if you guys spend as much time on Twitter as I do. But it has become much more interesting since Elon Musk took over. And over the weekend, they brought back Donald Trump. That was the big story. So I could have led with that. Trump is back. Will he tweet again? Does anybody want to wager with me on that? Because I have a prediction. And I don't have a betting market for it. So you can think I could be your betting partner if you think Trump isn't going to tweet. But I heard somebody's professional opinion today that Trump is not going to tweet because he can't afford to, because he's got Truth Social. But I just think that he can't stop himself from tweeting. And that's what Elon Musk thinks too. So come on, camera, catch up. The podcast has no idea. It's just every few seconds my face freezes or it skips frames. So advanced, you would think. We're almost living in virtual reality. You would think I would be able to, with like a regular system, make things work better. So yeah, that's what I have. News about Twitter. Alex Jones is not coming back. Elon Musk shared a personal story about why Alex Jones isn't coming back, which just made me dislike him more. So that's the official story, is that some people still aren't back. The doctors still aren't back for whatever reason. But Trump is back, but not tweeting. So I would bet, I think that he's going to tweet. I think he can't help it. I think he has to. But if you wanted to say that he's not gonna, that's not a bad bet. So I'd say it's maybe 50-50 because he's got that Truth Social. The other news is that Twitter still works. It still hasn't fallen apart. And it's probably being run mostly by foreigners at this point, because I don't think Americans like to work very hard. So I think most likely that people who are left there are like, Indian computer programmers and stuff, people from Asia, people who like to work hard are still at Twitter, and they're keeping the damn thing running. I mean, it works. And I just have to think, what is the rest of Silicon Valley going to do? I'm laughing. What is the rest of Silicon Valley going to do when they figure out that their websites still work with almost nobody working there? Everybody's going to be unemployed. Like if the Twitter thing works out, then that's not good for people who have jobs right now. Running algorithms or whatever they think they're doing with their meditation rooms and stuff. A lot of people are going to be out of work, and they're going to realize, oh my God, I had it good. So we'll see. All right, I'll play my intro and then we'll start the real show. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Glad you made it through the weekend. We made it together. See if I can finish this show. Despite the technical difficulties. All right, here we'll get the intro. I'll get this thing cleared. Hide that. And then adjust my volume. And then we'll start. Okay, cue musical intro. Oh. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. So who else has come back to Twitter since the whole thing's been done? You can put it in the chat who you follow that's been brought back. But there's that Cat Turd came back. Well, no, Cat Turd was always on the platform. Cat Turd just got a lot more followers. But Project Veritas is back. Project Veritas came back. James O'Keefe is still apparently banned. Alex Jones is still apparently banned. Yeah, Elon Musk shared a story about how he had a child die in his arms, and he just can't stand that anybody made money off of dead children, right? So it's the Sandy Hook thing is the reason that Elon Musk is giving for not thinking about bringing Alex Jones back on the platform. So apparently there are lines you can cross that you can't profit from dead children, apparently, which is problematic because I just saw a poll. That I can't show you on the current Twitter where they don't censor as much. And the poll asked people whether they thought Sandy Hook, believe it or not, was a FF. There's a poll right now on Twitter under Zach Voorhees asking his followers whether they think Sandy Hook was a naturally occurring event or an FF. And the results of the poll must be extremely offensive to Elon Musk because he apparently had a child die in his arms. And because of that, he can't stand anybody who's going to profit off the death of children. I mean, there's somebody has a poll where people have the opportunity to say that they think something that they're not supposed to think. So one thing, though, that has changed, about Twitter, and I've been tweeting things that maybe previously would have been banned, and there is very little censorship now. People are allowed to say things that they weren't allowed to say before, for sure. I haven't pushed it as far as I possibly can, but it's like Kanye West could come back and say, I can say anti-Semitic stuff and not get kicked off Twitter, and he might not get kicked off Twitter for saying anti-Semitic stuff. I mean, that's actually what Elon Musk proposed. So I've been trying it out. Elon Musk says hate speech will be shadow banned. That's what he said. And no longer penalized, no longer suspended, that you'll just get shadow banned and it will just be an individual tweet that gets shadow banned. So not your whole account. That's what Elon Musk said. So I was trying it out, a few different things. But for some reason, even though that's true for everybody who's currently on the platform, you are allowed to say things. For example, like you can say Rachel Levine is a man now, and the Babylon Bee has been restored. The Babylon Bee got banned for saying that. So you can say that now on Twitter. And then I'm pretty sure you can say some other very spicy things. I said some things about 9/11 and just to try it out. I said something about David Hogg just to try it out as a test. And it didn't even seem shadow banned. Stuff that some people think of as hate speech. I tested it. So like I did my research. So Alex Jones, though, persona non grata, just the Sandy Hook, the Sandy Hook thing is just too much for people, apparently. Even Elon Musk, who tweeted a conspiracy theory about Paul Pelosi without worrying about it too much. I mean, he tweeted a false story about Paul Pelosi. Well, is apparently false. And what about the people who've been attacked by hammers? What if they think that that's out of bounds? So I'm not sure. I don't like Elon Musk's reasoning, even though, of course, it's sad when children die. Even though it is sad when children die. And I feel bad for anyone whose children died at the Sandy Hook thing. For anyone whose children died at the Sandy Hook thing, that must be terrible, especially with people saying it didn't even happen. It really must be bad. But people are allowed to think things, even that can be offensive. And some people just happen to think that the Sandy Hook thing was an FF. I mean, that's what some people think. Obviously, even though obviously, like it was totally 100% real, obviously, because I'm on YouTube right now, right? So obviously, Alex Jones was wrong when he said the things he said about Sandy Hook. Obviously, he was wrong, but he said he believed him at the time. So are you allowed to be wrong? Are you allowed to be wrong about things that are offensive? Because, like I said, Elon Musk his thing about Paul Pelosi would be pretty offensive, especially, somebody just got attacked by a hammer by some kind of Trump supporter, apparently, or election. I don't know, whatever they said he was. And you said it was because he was having a gay thing. That's not cool. That's wrong. That's offensive. That's offensive. Even though it's a public figure, still very offensive to say. People could be mad at you, Elon Musk. But you want to judge other people. You want to judge Alex Jones because you think you're better because you're an autistic supremacist. So here's Alex Jones, though, with what many people think is like an adult response to the whole situation. So I'll play this clip. People have been posting of Alex Jones responding to the censorship, to him, not being allowed on Twitter. He says it's cool. I'll play it.
This is criminal. Even Senator Josh Hawley yesterday brought this up to the head of DHS Mayorkas and said, you're helping run the censorship and you're surveilling the American people and telling big tech who to censor. So Elon Musk has the EU threatening him not to bring back Alex Jones and Donald Trump. He has DHS behind the scenes with a bunch of moles inside his organization. There's a question right now on whether Twitter will even be able to continue on to the future because all of the sabotage. So as I said in the last month with this buildup, I want to see Twitter freed overall first and to see if Musk can even get control of it before we talk about Donald Trump or Alex Jones being brought back. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. I've built Infowars.com. I've built our syndicated radio show and TV show that reaches tens of millions a day. You've built it with your word of mouth. And we're not going to sit there and hope that Elon Musk can free Twitter. We've got Rumble. We've got Gab. We've got Getter. We've got Telegram. We've got so many other great platforms. So we're going to continue to energize those and promote those and get those out to the world. Just because there's tyranny at Twitter and tyranny at Facebook and tyranny at Google and tyranny at Apple doesn't mean we can't build our own system. That's the reason Joe Rogan went to Spotify when YouTube, owned by Google, was trying to censor him a few years ago. It's not that Spotify's perfect, but they told Joe, we won't censor you. And now they're number one in podcasting, showing that free speech is what people want. And that's what is innovating. And that's what is successful. So at the end of the day, I'm betting on humanity. I'm betting on free speech. I'm betting on the Renaissance. I'm betting on you and America being the leaders again of free speech worldwide. I understand why Musk did this. He's got the ADL and the Democratic Party on him. He's got the EU on him, trying to shut him down right now. So don't put all your eggs in Elon Musk's basket, but support him trying to free up Twitter. And don't blame Musk at the end of the day because he didn't bring me back. I'm the most controversial figure in the world because I'm the most threatening to the New World Order. So don't expect him to bring me back day one when he has to first get control of the platform before he can even think about that. But again, not gonna think about Musk, not gonna put my eggs in his basket. I'm gonna continue to build the real free open platform of the people at Infowars.com and Band.video. So that's my exclusive response to Elon Musk saying no to bringing back Alex Jones. My answer is that's fine, Elon. Just follow through on your promise to bring back some semblance of freedom to Twitter. Let's see if you can actually get that done.
There you go. Alex Jones, 48 years old, says it's cool. He understands the pressure Elon Musk is under. Don't blame Elon Musk, but I blame him. I tweeted out something really terrible about him that I deleted after he tweeted out the thing about having a baby die. I just said, we don't want to hear sob stories. We want free speech. We want free speech, even if it hurts your feelings, especially if it hurts your feelings. That's speech that hurts people's feelings is speech. Back when I grew up, they used to say, oh, yeah, somebody calls you a name, you just ignore them. That's what they used to teach us. American kids. They used to say sticks and stones. They say, somebody insults, you just ignore them. They can't hurt you. But no, nowadays, it's all about people's feelings. And it's all about Elon Musk's feelings in this case, which is that he has his issue. And he says you can't say anything about things involving dead children. I just say that's not how free speech works. You can say things that can be really offensive. The thing about Paul Pelosi was very offensive, especially for people who are worried about political violence and stuff. And then shifting on from that story. So that's what's going on with Twitter. I was going to talk about violence. They say Donald Trump coming back is going to lead to violence. And now you can see his tweets along with the reasoning. Viva Frei published the reasoning for why they kicked Donald Trump off of Twitter in the first place. If you haven't seen that before, that's pretty unbelievable, because now that his account is back, people can see what he tweeted. And he tweeted things that weren't inciting violence or anything, but they interpreted those things as inciting violence. So that's the way it worked. They said it wasn't even what Donald Trump said, but the interpretation of what he said by people who follow him. That is the reason he got kicked off. So I'll show you that. I'll show you. Yeah, it's not even that it's not what he said. They even say it's how people interpreted what he said. That's what it says right here. Permanent suspension of real Donald Trump. This is on their company blog. It said, after close review of recent tweets from the real Donald Trump account and the context around them, specifically how they were being received and interpreted, how they are being received and interpreted on and off Twitter, we have permanently suspended the account due to the risk of further incitement of violence. All right, so here's then what they say about the tweets that they canceled him for. For the glorification of violence policy, he tweeted that he would not be going to the inauguration. He said, I will not be going to the inauguration. And that's it. So I won't be attending the inauguration. They Twitter decided that people would interpret that. This is what it says right here. President Trump's statement that he will not be attending the inauguration is being received by a number of supporters as further confirmation that the election was not legitimate, and is seen as him disavowing his previous claim in 2 tweets that there would be an orderly transition on January 20th, is being received. Not that the speech actually means any of that. It is being received. So it's not even about what he said. The second tweet may also serve as encouragement to those potentially considering violent acts that the inauguration would be a safe target, as he would not be attending. That's what they said. They said because he tweeted that he wouldn't be going to the inauguration, which is all he tweeted, they decided that would be interpreted as a reason people could attack the inauguration, and that would lead to violence. And that's why he had to be permanently suspended. Here's his account. He has 87.5 million followers. This is the last thing he tweeted. All he said is, to all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. That's what he tweeted. And because of that tweet, they said that was literal violence, basically. Like, people would say, oh my God, he's denying the election. Therefore, we should blow up the inauguration because Trump isn't going to be there. So that's why he had to get banned. And he said a bunch of things about, what he said about during the insurrection? Did he tell people to commit violence during the insurrection? No, he said, I am asking everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you, he tweeted. And then you were like, oh no, he had definitely incited violence because the January 6th committee said, okay, so then there was this tweet where he said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. And that's weird because I swear they said that he incited people to do violence. Here it does say rigged election. He did say that. He did say rigged election, but other people have said that before too. So anyway, he's back. His account is reinstated, at least, and he seems to have gotten all his followers back. But so far, he has not tweeted. If I were to wager on it, given that he's running for president, given that he has 87.5 million followers on Twitter, and let me do a search. How many users are on Truth Social? Let's see. He has 87.5 million followers on Twitter. And I'm looking at this. The small business blog is reporting that Truth Social has 2 million daily active users. 2 million users. 2 million active users, which means that a lot of those followers on Twitter might not be active users. That's fair. But still, 2 million. I think Twitter has way more people that use it. And that's the thing about social media platforms, is they are people like monopoly platforms. That is it is a real issue that once a platform establishes a monopoly, and first they can do that by establishing a category. So Facebook had whatever it had as far as friend updates and friend following. Twitter is a micro blogging site. It was the first one. Now there are several competitors to Twitter, none of which have captured anywhere close to the market share that Twitter has. And I'll suggest to you that as long as Twitter doesn't break, then Twitter will maintain market dominance because that's how monopolies work. People like monopolies in social media. So people would prefer to use one platform where they can see everybody they follow. And that one platform is Twitter in this case. And then as far as like this video that you're watching, You're watching it on YouTube because that's the platform that has the most potential people total of all different stripes. So anybody could tune in and see my glitchy camera now that I'm on YouTube. And that's got a monopoly on video services, which is why it's so hard to compete. And nobody's even close. So Twitter is where it's at. And I think that as long as Donald Trump is running for president, he would need to use Twitter. Because who's going to go to Truth Social? There's hardly any censorship on Twitter anymore. I can just say that. There is hardly any censorship left on Twitter. I've seen things that I wouldn't have seen before. And I've tweeted things that I wouldn't have been able to tweet before. So what are the advantages? What advantage does Truth Social have besides having Trump on it? Anything anymore? I mean, I think you can tweet about COVID stuff. I haven't tested that. I'll test it. I could just tweet out. Like I could tweet out like safe enough. Oh, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. I'll tweet it out. Just follow me on Twitter. You'll see. I'm running experiments. So I'll say something about safe and effective and just see exactly what happens to it, whether it's hateful, whether it gets shadow banned. And then I'm still calling for these. The doctors still need to come back. They still have been banned. So, but Kanye West is back, or is back. He says shalom. And the state of Israel says they want nothing to do with him. I have news about the state of Israel. There's lots of news. All right, so that's it about Twitter. You guys got the update. I have this thing about why everybody's a pervert. I already made a video about it, and you can go back and watch it. But let me cover it since that's in the title for the show. There was a ad campaign from Balenciaga. I'll make it quick. There was an ad campaign, because you can watch the video I made anytime. There's an ad campaign from Balenciaga that has children with teddy bears dressed in bondage gear. Balenciaga is like the biggest fashion brand, or seems to be the one all the celebrities are into lately. They decided to cancel their Twitter account because Twitter isn't safe enough for them. They just got off Twitter a little while ago. And then they posted this ad campaign with kids with teddy bears in bondage gear like this. So there's this picture. Then there was this picture of a teddy bear in bondage gear and this kid wearing it with like a weird expression too, like not looking really happy or playful or anything. Holding a bear, which I guess is a purse, which looks like a teddy bear with bondage stuff, arm and leg restraints. So that was posted on the main Balenciaga page. It's an advertising campaign for their gift shop because it's the holiday season, y'all. So in that advertising campaign, they had these kids posing with these things that are available for sale in the gift shop, which are these bondage BDSM inspired teddy bears, which I guess they've made for a while because they had featured it in a previous fashion show. So they've been selling BDSM teddy bears before. They hadn't featured them with children. So in this case, the advertising campaign featured them with children. And then on the same website, on the Balenciaga site, and it's part of a different campaign, they have a handbag on top of some documents. And one of the documents has reference to a child porn case, Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition, and is apparently from a child porn case. United States versus Williams, I think is what it was. which is, anyway, it's a case involving a guy who distributed sexual images of children and then tried to claim free speech, and it was struck down by the Supreme Court. The guy didn't win, but it was a case involving that. And then you can see on this document, which was in this, bigger picture, kind of secret, it was in this picture on that document. It says things like sexual intercourse, pornography, lots of the word sexual showing up on that page. So in what they decided to show in this image, it has the word sexual and pornography several times, and it's related to a child porn case. So that's from Balenciaga. People are outraged. Balenciaga pulled the campaign from their website, deleted it all from their Instagram page, and have been deleting any negative comments to them. But they have been getting brigaded. And a few news outlets ran stories about it, like CBS 21 local news, or actually it might have been just CBS national news, ran a story saying that Balenciaga is being slammed for it. So that is going on. That is a real thing. I think the guy's at Balenciaga. The photographer himself, if you want to get into it, was taking a bunch of pictures of kids with their toys. And this Balenciaga ad was like a continuation of a theme of kids with their toys called Toy Story. So I'll show you that. The photographer is like a National Geographic photographer, and he was taking a bunch of pictures of kids. Gabriel Galimberti. He was taking a bunch of pictures of kids with their toys like this, like for example, which is similar to the picture for the Balenciaga campaign. So like there's a picture of a kid with a bunch of toys. And then on the Balenciaga website, there's this picture. I'll show you. And then a lot of people are calling him out in his comments on his Instagram. He's getting a lot of people saying he should go to jail and stuff for the pictures of the kids with the kinky teddy bears, like this one. So this picture is still on the Balenciaga website, where it's a kid with a bunch of stuff. See, it's very similar to what this photographer was doing on his own. And that's where Balenciaga got the idea, I guess. So it's kids with their toys, but one of their toys happens to be a bondage teddy bear. So like I said in the title, they're all perverts. And and then they hide secret clues about child pornography and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty it's pretty weird. It reminds me a little bit of the Mayfair stuff, but different actually from the Wayfair. So anyway, there's that story. Balenciaga. Speaking of Balenciaga, Kanye West was just on camera. Do you guys want to see Kanye West showing off his stuff? I don't know if this might be copyrighted, so I don't know if I can play too much. It's from a celebrity news site. Kanye West was photographed by Celebrity News. He's going to sell his Balenciaga and Gap and Adidas stuff for $20 a piece with his Yay 24 campaign slogan on it. So this is a little of that video. And then he also announces that he is definitely running for president. Ye is definitely running for president. And Milo Yiannopoulos is going to be his campaign manager. That was also announced in this video. So I'll play a little bit of the video. Let's see. Play a little bit of it.
Oh, yeah. So you are running.
Yes.
That's awesome, Kanye.
Simple.
Simple as that.
Like, nobody can tell me, you
Yeah.
should say this, you should say that, It's just we're moving towards the future. Like, so what we do here is I'll cut up, 100 hoodies from Yeezy, from Balenciaga, from the stuff we did at Gap, from the stuff we did at Adidas, and everything we do is going to cost $20. We need to make sure that everyone can receive the same level of cuts, the same level of food, same level of water, same level of education, the curriculum, the engineering. We're beings with engineering opportunities. We're getting past the past. We're focused on the future.
There you go. He said he's officially running in 2024 is what he said in that clip. And he's going to take all that stuff. He's got a warehouse full of stuff and he's going to sell it all for $20, which I think as an investor, I like that price. Sounds like a good deal. Although I don't know if you can go wear Yay 24 stuff out in public because of this whole anti-Semitism thing, but I'm not sure. I like controversial stuff. Owning Kanye West stuff is definitely controversial now. Even though I said at the time, Kanye West should say the things he's supposed to say. Like he's supposed to say, I condemn anti-Semitism and I stand with my Jewish people, which he's doing anyway, because Milo's Jewish, pretty sure. And it looks like Milo's running his presidential campaign. Apparently that's announced in this same video. Milo Yiannopoulos is actually running his campaign. So he should say, I condemn anti-Semitism in all its forms, and I stand with my Jewish brothers and sisters. Something like that. And then he can say, and then he'd go on to tell stories about whatever his issues are. So, but Yay 24, huh? Yay 24 gear, controversial, definitely. And $20, that's a good deal for clothing. If you want to get clothing, like I'm wearing this jersey. So Kanye West is an artist. We also have an artist here. We made this shirt, which is available. This is a hoodie that's available at Truth Revolution Clothing at truthclothing.io. You can go there and buy stuff for Christmas. And it's cool stuff. People like it when they see you wear it. And we have other shirts too, not just this one. Check it out at truthclothing.io. That's our website, truthclothing.io. You can get stuff that's a good deal too. Some of our stuff is also marked down or on sale, and you can also choose some items for free, Doshi items. I swear to God. One of these days, I'm going to have technology. So check it out, truthclothing.io. And then if you want to support the show the other way, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And then one day, I'll figure out something. One day, if you buy me enough coffees, I'll figure out how to have like a camera that actually works. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. If you drop me some coffees there and some notes, then sometimes I do extra stuff. And I have a lot of content today. So I might do extra if I get some coffees. So go over to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. They don't take 30% like YouTube. So, all right. So that's the news on Kanye West. Then in Arizona, you guys know about the Kerry Lake situation. Kerry Lake is still fighting in Arizona. The attorney general said that there were irregularities and they're looking into them. So that's still going on in Arizona right now. The Kerry Lake thing, Kerry Lake probably lost, but they're officially looking into the irregularities in Arizona right now. Okay, but I can't say they stole the election or anything like that. And if you say that, this is how much they're running away from the stolen election narrative for this next cycle, that Newsmax, if you bring up the stolen election, they're going to say, oh, you don't have any proof. I'll show you that clip. So people are saying, though, that Kerry Lake got screwed in Arizona. And officially, there were major irregularities in Arizona. So it's kind of easy to say there were problems. Here's Newsmax, though, talking about it. I'll play this. Let me play this there. There you go.
Wow, Mussolini, criminal, 30 seconds. Each of you, Kevin, what's your reaction?
I was there last night. I was at Mar-a-Lago. I was fourth row center, and I tell you what, that was the most presidential speech he's given. I mean, seriously, I thought this is awesome. It's I'm not surprised he's coming back. I mean, you know, I am a voter denial. There was definitely fraud in this election. There was 2 years ago. So I hope that we
don't have any proof of that, and we're going to look forward. We're going to look forward and focus on the policies and the positivity of America. Wow, Mussolini, criminal, so 30 seconds each.
That's Newsmax saying, well, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about stolen elections anymore. We're going to move forward. And that's what other GOP people are saying. And there was a big event at this Republican Jewish coalition conference in Las Vegas. Was basically the launch of the new campaign, and DeSantis was there. People said DeSantis got big cheers. I watched DeSantis's entire speech. I also watched Christie and some others at this conference because it's all available on C-SPAN. They say DeSantis got the biggest applause at the place, and he showed up in person, even though Donald Trump showed up on video. So I can show you, there are a few things I can show you. I can show you all, DeSantis spends the first 5 minutes like kissing ass, saying all the great things he's done for Israel. And I could show you that. But basically, one of the things he said that's incredibly controversial is that the Palestinian territories are not occupied territories. They're disputed territories. He said that specifically. He said the occupied territories are not occupied. They're disputed, and that he's read about it, and he knows the history, and he knows that that land belongs to Israel, basically is what he said. So they're all pandering, you know, for the, well, in this case, the Jewish vote, or the people at this conference specifically, I should say, who they thought would, who all the candidates thought would respond well to defense of Israel. And DeSantis said he's going to shut down BDS on college campuses. But I'll play the strongest part of his speech. I'll play that, what I thought was the strongest part of his speech for you. Because he's doing well. Ron DeSantis is doing well in the polls. Some people say he shouldn't run. Some people say that, but that's people who are scared of him running. Some people are saying he can't win because Trump is, some people are saying it's a long shot for DeSantis. At this point, I'm saying I don't think he's a long shot. In fact, I think he's the favorite. In fact, it's not just my opinion. Betting odds are that he's the favorite now over Trump by a fair margin now. So the odds are that DeSantis is going to be the nominee. And so I would say at this point, he's the favorite. He's actually the favorite to be the Republican nominee. So, but yeah, I'm not just saying that as my opinion, because my opinion can be wrong, but that is what people are putting their money on too. So is that, and DeSantis is also the odds-on favorite to be president as well. And he's well ahead of Trump as far as that category goes. Of actually being president, DeSantis is also favored, just barely over Joe Biden. I'll play you this clip I had of him talking about getting rid of gender stuff at schools. I think this is his strongest part, and something I didn't hear Donald Trump get into in his long rambling speech. So here's DeSantis. This is the clip, I think, where he says he's against wokeism and he's going to fix the schools and stuff. I'll play this. He gave about a 25-minute speech Republican Jewish Coalition leadership meeting.
And we're going to teach accurate history. We also are going to stand with parents so that what's being taught in the kids' schools is appropriate for the ages. And we have had the fight to ban gender ideology in our elementary schools. It is wrong to teach a kid that they were born in the wrong body. It's wrong to teach a kid that their gender is a choice. And in the state of Florida, that will not happen. And even when you have the granddaddy of them all, Walt Disney Company, opposing us, we didn't back down because we stand up for the rights of parents in Florida. We're not kowtowing to woke corporations. And the whole idea that you'd even be talking about things like gender ideology really shows the effects of what I call the woke mind virus that's running wild throughout so many institutions in society. I had to sign a bill in 2021. I'm happy to do it, but I had to sign legislation protecting women's athletics in the state of Florida. It's the right thing to do. How is it that you have someone that will compete on the men's swim team for 3 seasons, then switch to the women's and somehow win the national championship for the women's? That is unfair to those women athletes who are training. They deserve an equal opportunity. And in Florida, that's exactly what they're going to get. We reject woke ideology in the state of Florida, and we will fight it in the classrooms. We will fight it in the corporations. We will fight it in the halls of the legislature. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. The state of Florida is where woke goes to die.
There you go. So anyway, that was kind of like the highlight of his speech as far as applause and everything goes. Sorry, people are reporting that there's something wrong with my mic. So sorry about that. I don't know what it is. I updated the software for my computer, so I'm hoping it didn't screw things up. If there is a clipping, you can tell me about it. People are saying, I heard something on my video that I put out earlier today, like a tick, 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 tick. So if that's what's going on, then I have more technical problems that I have to sort out. So sorry about that, if that's going on. Yes, but still, don't be shy about still supporting the show, because it will always get better. Well, I mean, not always. Sometimes it gets worse, but I try to make it better every time, and I'll try to make sure it doesn't clip anymore. That's what it's doing. KDD. All right. Well, that's what happens when you update your software, huh? Sorry if it's super annoying. Okay, then there's also news. So that was Ron DeSantis. Oh, and at the same convention, Christie threw Trump under the bus to some applause. So at the same convention, I wonder what I could do about I'll have to run some tests to see exactly what's going on, where the noise is coming from. But we'll continue the show, and I'll try to figure out the mic thing. Here's Christie saying, throwing Trump under the bus to some applause. Okay, so let me play that. This is what people are starting to do. Mike Pence was on all the shows. Christie came out. This is Christie.
We keep losing and losing and losing. And the fact of the matter is, the reason we're losing is because Donald Trump has put himself before everybody else. And I understand and believe in so many of the policies that were able to be accomplished during those 4 years. I mourn what more could have been done, And let's remember this. Everything that has happened in the last 2 years is because we lost that election. Everything that has happened in this country. We keep losing.
So that's Chris
and
Christie.
losing.
Chris Christie throwing Trump under the bus to some applause and some boos. It seems like he was one of the candidates who was willing to totally throw him under the bus, which Mike Pence is kind of doing. DeSantis danced around it. DeSantis, the thing he's got going for him is they won so bad in Florida, or they did so well in Florida. Republicans really cleaned up, and DeSantis really won. And Trump hasn't won anything for a while. And also he picked candidates that lost. So DeSantis has got this wind at his back. I'd say he's right. It's correct for him to be the odds-on favorite. And I'll say, like, as things go along, now that these candidates are getting out there and stuff, you're going to see the gaps narrow. And there will be other interesting candidates too. There will be other interesting candidates. Glenn Youngkin might be interesting. I don't know about Mike Pompeo or Mike Pence. I don't think people really like Mike Pence. But some of these other characters could, and Carrie Lake could be interesting too if she decides to run. But chances are she already endorsed Donald Trump, so that means she's probably not going to run on her own. All right, so that's that story. That was from the Republican Jewish Coalition meeting. Okay, let's see what else I have for you. You know, this is crazy. CBS News confirmed that the Hunter Biden laptop is real, like today. I mean, they finally confirmed that the Hunter Biden laptop is real, but there's a video showing all the times they said it wasn't real. So that was disinformation, basically. When all the times they said that the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real, that was a conspiracy theory. And it was disinformation. And I have a clip, or I have a video showing all of the times they said the Biden laptop was fake. And now, like I said, CBS News just came out today with a long story. It says, oh, we're confirming the laptop is real. Even though they said on their shows on 60 Minutes, they said, oh, we can't confirm the laptop. I'll play the clip of it. So yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, 5 years later, but in this case, I guess 2 years later, they decided, oh, it is real. It is real. It's worth paying attention to. And that's just because there's going to be all these hearings about it now. So the news has to know about it because the laptop is real. So I'll play this video. This is from Matt Orfalea and Matt Taibbi.
Incriminating evidence allegedly found on a laptop belonging to Biden.
Some sort of Russian disinformation campaign.
One eternity later.
Biden emails finally authenticated according to the New York Times.
It's rewind time.
It's a lie.
Altered or fake, unverified emails.
The story did not quite land due to the lack of verification.
Listen, what can't be verified? The laptop. Why do you say that? Well, because it can't be verified.
I don't even want to report this. This is one of the most powerful families in Washington.
Liz, I'm a journalist.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you.
It's a journalist's job.
Not anymore.
For all we know, these emails are made up.
Not really stories, just pure distractions. No serious journalist should fall for it.
It's a journalist's job to find out if this is verified.
The bottom line is we cannot confirm the story.
Experts say the emails cannot be authenticated.
The mainstream media is not reporting on this story because we can't authenticate this material.
The Hunter Biden laptop material is genuine.
This is a classic example of the right-wing media machine.
It just lacks credibility. The fact that it appeared in the New York Post.
The only place low enough to put this orphan bastard story in print.
Obvious disinformation.
It is so obviously a Russian operation.
So obviously disinformation.
So obviously a Russian plot. Tell me why it's so obviously a Russian plot to you.
This is just classic textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work.
Right, exactly. And this is classic, very classic Russian disinformation tactic.
Your classic disinformation campaign.
We shouldn't look at it as anything other than a Russian disinformation operation.
Known Kremlin disinformation.
Russians would be my number one guess.
Obviously, Russia.
Russian disinformation operation.
Russian disinformation.
Pushing Russian disinformation.
It does bear the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo.
Hunter Biden's laptop looks like it's tied to Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
Is that laptop yours?
I don't know. I truly...
You don't know.
The serious answer is that I truly do not know the answer to that.
Did you leave a laptop with a repairman
Not
in
that I
Wilmington?
remember.
Not that you remember.
No. I truly don't know.
Are you missing a laptop?
Not that I know of.
What?
This whole operation looks right out of the Kremlin playbook.
The playbook of Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation put into the haystack.
Russian disinfo.
Sounds like bullshit. I mean, who takes a laptop with their most personal information, drops it off, and never comes back for it?
You read the book and you'll realize that I wasn't keeping tabs on possessions very well for about a 4-year period of time.
A Russian disinformation campaign.
Disinformation from the Russians. Putin is trying very hard to spread disinformation about Joe Biden.
The Biden campaign says this is Russian disinformation.
There's overwhelming evidence that the Russians are engaged.
It's a Russian plan.
Russian disinformation.
Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
History will expose you all as fools and useful idiots for the Russians. The idiocy, the sheer idiocy.
50 former intelligence officials signed on to a letter yesterday saying that the New York Post story about Hunter Biden's emails has all of the classic earmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Russia, Giuliani.
Don't trust anything that he's telling you. This is Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation campaign.
Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation campaign.
Russian disinformation meant to harm our democracy.
Disinformation by the Russians. The fruits of a foreign intelligence operation. Part of that bigger Russian.
All right. You get it. Gosh, video goes on. Yes. As it says in the video, go to taibbi.substack.com. Matt Taibbi is writing to, and like if you follow me on Substack, you'll see I'm following Matt Taibbi, and you can follow him there, taibbi.substack.com. He's writing today about YouTube censorship, which I could tell him all about. But he's just realizing, because he's using YouTube, that they censor things that are true. And they call them disinformation, just like they censored me and deleted my channel for talking about the vaccine in ways that were true. But you can say things that are true and they'll still censor you on YouTube, which is why I couldn't do a show probably about the Arizona election thing. Even though I could tell you things about it that are true, they'd say it was like election denialism and they would try to censor it. So that's what happened to Matt Orfalea, and he's making videos for Matt Taibbi. So Matt Taibbi's upset about it, trying to shame YouTube into removing the strike, maybe, which I don't know if it works to shame YouTube. YouTube took down so much of my stuff that where I didn't break the rules that it's hard to figure out. But that is real misinformation, what you just saw. Okay, I have a few more stories. It's been about an hour. Let me check my super chats over at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can go there. And then I might tell you about the story at the gay nightclub. But let me see. Here we go. Thanks, Rip the Veil, who says, release the extra content. Thanks, Rip the Veil. Not Pod Ghost bought a coffee. Have you looked into the Club Q event much? Just the name is highly suspect. Okay, so yes. And then that's it. So I got a couple coffees. If you want to support the show, we run on Buy Me a Coffee. So go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil or visit our store at truthclothing.io, or you can leave a super chat if you're really lazy and want to give YouTube 30%. I'll take those too. Yeah, the Club Q event. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about it just because you asked, not Pod Ghost. But yeah, hit me up on there, buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'll tell you about the Club Q shooting. The guy, they haven't said what the motive is yet. But the guy was related to a Republican Stop the Steal type of political guy. He's the son of a hold on, let me tell you. Where does it show? Vopel. He's Mormon, apparently. He has a familial tie to Randy Vopel. Randy Vopel, who is a California Assembly. It was in the California Assembly. And here, I'll show you. So they haven't said officially what the motive is yet. You guys know the Pulse nightclub thing? I mean, I can't say much about it. Pulse nightclub was definitely a thing. And when I say that, I mean, you should look into it if you still can. Pulse nightclub shooting. First of all, whether it was anti-gay, that I think even Glenn Greenwald, who is gay, says the Pulse nightclub shooting turned out to not be an anti-gay shooting. It was theoretically inspired by ISIS, that one. So the guy, Randy Vopel, there's a picture of him looking super MAGA. There he is. Here's my promise. This is a campaign ad for this guy, Randy Vopel, who's what, his grandfather? Yeah, his grandfather. His grandfather is this guy, Randy Vopel, who's a elected representative in California, who apparently was like really MAGA or something like that. So that is how it's being painted. This is the guy's ad. It says, "Here's my promise to you. I will stand up for East County values, oppose the out-of-control spending and regulations, and never, ever join the swamp." He ran on draining the swamp. And he's a Vietnam veteran, apparently. So that's the guy. That's supposedly the grandfather. So people are trying to make connections, obviously, right? They're saying it's an anti-LGBTQ attack, even though officially it's not yet. But that's what they're saying. They're saying it's because of people like Libs of TikTok, and it's because of what all the people have said and all the laws that are trying to be passed that are anti-gay or anti-trans. And there was apparently going to be a drag event the next day, but it wasn't a drag. Oh yeah, it was an all ages. Yeah, there was going to be an all ages drag show the next day. So I guess that's not exactly Drag Queen Story Hour, but it's kind of similar. An all ages drag show was going to be the very next day. So this guy came in, started shooting, was apparently subdued by a couple people at the bar. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about it, except the official stories. They said, but I will say, this is the ad for the drag show that was going to be on Sunday, the next day. And then also the 20th was going to be Trans Remembrance Day, like Dead Trans Remembrance Day. So that was also a thing. So everything coalesced, and the narrative is that the reason for the crime, even though the police have not announced a motive, the narrative from the media is that the motive for the crime comes from all the people saying bad things about trans people and about Drag Queen Story Hour in particular, and that it's the fault of the rhetoric of all of these people that there was a shooting. So that's the official narrative. And I showed you officially the guy's related to somebody who's kind of MAGA. So that's the direction they're going with it. They're going to blame or frame libs of TikTok for creating the environment that then create these kind of hate crimes. So it's a likely story, isn't it? Yes, it is an awful likely story. So, and what can I say? If it wasn't what they said it was, I couldn't tell you about it. I probably couldn't even ask questions about it officially on YouTube. I would have to do that maybe on another platform. There have been issues in the past with some mass shootings. There have been some issues, but that doesn't mean they're not all 100% totally real and everything we're told. But we'll look into this one. It is awfully kind of, I mean, sorry, it's terrible if people really got killed, right? For anti-gay reasons. That would be really bad. So I condemn anti-gay hate because there shouldn't be anti-gay hate. And I always defend gay people because it happens, right? Some people are gay and that's okay. They should be allowed to live happy lives like the rest of us, be able to have the same rights and things. So I always support that. And I think there's no place for anti-gay hate and especially going and shooting people. I think that's crazy. So there is a story that the guy had previously done a bomb threat and kidnapping and somehow got off. So that story is going around that previously he was involved in trouble with the police just last year. He was involved in a bomb threat and kidnapping and was still able somehow to have weapons. So that's definitely a controversial part of the story where people are wondering how he was able to possess weapons, considering that he apparently committed a crime with a bomb threat, a kidnapping, and like a neighborhood had to be cleared out. This all happened last year. And then somehow he still had access to the firearms to be able to go in there and shoot up this Club Q. So, like I said, I'll look into it. These mass shootings, sometimes there are strange things about them. And you don't want to talk about it too much because you could just totally just get sued into oblivion. So I will say officially that it definitely happened. And yeah, it's terrible, right? Definitely. I condemn anti-gay hate. And I hope I don't perpetuate any of it on this channel. So that's it. That's the story from Club Q. Yeah, I thought I would do that for you. Thanks for the super chat, Ghost. And I'll check to see. Oh, and I'll check on Rockfin for tips. Thanks for the tips over on Rockfin. Thanks, Vogan Filter. You're the man. Thanks, Jacob's Ladder. Thanks, guys, for the tips. As a reminder, you can drop those anytime, even after the show's over, which is what we're going to do now is wrap up the show. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Good to see you. I'll do one last check to see if anybody dropped a coffee. But you can go there to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Thanks. Someone else did. Thank you. Someone, it says, without a note. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. We'll see you guys at the next one. The shows happen weekdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll see if you want to stay tuned on DLive and Rockfin. I'll try to sort out what the technical issues is that I'm having. So I will be live for a second on DLive and Rockfin, just bullshitting. All right. So thanks. And that's what it is. Okay.